Hey, greetings everybody. It is Gleekon here again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. We are moving along. We established the human empire, and we have some pictures of it here to get us started. So stay a while and listen to this chapter, which, as you can see from the title, is our beginning of one of two chapters about the Troll Wars. Okay, so this is instructive for a few reasons. One, this is essentially the world as we know it today. So that's kind of cool. The Eastern Kingdoms, it doesn't include anything to the south so far. So it doesn't include really any place that the current human capitals. Okay, so you have, they must have arrived somewhere over here. The High Elves is what I mean. And they made their way through and eventually were in this area, and then they continued to push north because they felt like it was kind of evil. They fought their way through the Trolls, which is the Amani Empire right here. Zul-Aman is that defunct raid, and they continued to push north to the Holy Land of Quel'Thalas, and they established Silver Moon City, and apparently on this island, the Isle of Quel'Thalas, I believe, is where they established the Sunwell. They didn't really super mention that it was on a further island, but yeah, I mean, if they could sail over here, why not sail up and make the Sunwell up there? In the Isle of Quel'Thalas, Quel'Thalas, something like that. Okay, so this is where this is the Kingdom of Erethdor, and this is where our guy Igneous, he's in this region. He establishes the Alterac Fortress, and if you push, right about here, I guess, in what is considered the Amani Empire, that would be where the Lordaeron people are fighting, whatever his name, the Lordaerai, whatever they said his ancient name was. Because as we can tell, that is where the Undercity currently is. That's where Strom was set up, and I'm trying to think about, that's like the Hillsbrad foothills, Rathi Highlands, those type of areas. Actually, I think that's Rathi Highlands. That's wetlands over here, and I think that's where Mythal, whatever. Okay, but I think there's like that keep, that defunct keep. Maybe it's called Stromgard in this side area. If there's like a little pirate quest line there. Okay, so telling. Now the Troll Wars, maybe it's a civil war, but it also could very likely be a war on two fronts between the human empire and the High Elves. Let us find out. This is 2,800 years before the Dark Portal, and that puts us at the same time that the human kingdom of Erethdor is rising. They are doing this. This is part one, is the siege of Quel'Thalas. So maybe it's two parts because they're going to fight a war on two fronts. So here's where they try to take it back from the High Elves. Let's go. Millennia after being defeated by the High Elves, the Amani trolls plotted revenge within their temple city of Zul-Aman. Yet though they were fierce warriors, the trolls lacked a strong leader who could bring them victory. Infighting had also spread throughout the tribe, threatening to destroy it from within. The Amani's fortunes soon changed when they received aid from the revered Zandalar tribe. The Zandalari saw themselves as the protectors and spiritual leaders of all trolls. They were eager to strengthen troll societies across Azeroth, many of which had languished since the time of the Great Sundering. Even the Zandalari had suffered from that catastrophic event. Their once glorious mountain home of Zandalar had been swallowed by the sea, leaving nothing more than a small island behind, where they're currently still found as of BFA. In the Amani, the Zandalari saw an opportunity to revitalize one of the race's most powerful tribes and reassert troll dominance in the Eastern Kingdoms. Overwhelming the High Elves would be no easy task, but the Zandalari were confident of victory. Quel'Thalas was not as powerful as the ancient Night Elf Empire that had decimated the trolls so long ago. In addition, the Zandalari had honed and perfected their own voodoo arts over recent millennia. Not to mention, we're talking about a few boats of refugees. I don't understand how this is even close to a contest, unless the Sundering had really messed them up too. A handful of wise Zandalari emissaries made the journey from their island home to Zulaman. There they promised to help the Amani plan for their impending conflict. More importantly, the Zandalari would ensure that the mighty Loa demigods would aid the trolls in battle. To settle matters of leadership, the Zandalari also made one of the Amani's most fearless warriors, Jintha, the ruler of his people. So that's where you get Jintha lore and stuff like that. So he's a historic thing. And we've also are now establishing ties to voodoo, tapping into the dark magic of the region. And the demigods that helped in the Sundering, some of them are friendly with the trolls. They all like their different things, like they're disparate. They're not all necessarily good. And they have their own set that they call the Loa, but they are those demigods. Small Amani warbands began emerging from the forests and attacking Quel'Thalas' borders, testing the High Elves' strength. Always the cunning trolls hid their true numbers and capabilities. After a series of successful skirmishes, the Amani decided that the time for all-out war had finally come. Without warning, tens of thousands of troll fighters exploded from the shadowy forests. Monstrous Loa demigods marched alongside the Amani, infusing their troll adherents with supernatural might. The High Elves struggled desperately to hold back their foes, but they were forced to give ground. With astonishing speed and ferocity, the Amani laid waste to the outer reaches of Quel'Thalas. What I'm guessing the part that's now the Bloodlands. From Zulaman, the Zandalari emissaries observed the unfolding war with pleasure. Even the elves and their potent arcane powers could not withstand the might of the Amani, the might of the troll race. The troll's ultimate victory was only a matter of time. Okay, and we're going to see part 2 on the next one. Okay, another episode in Pipes 5x5. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it. Doing these is a bright spot in my day. Thank you. I'll see you on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.